Bigelow Tea, Jackson Lumber, Blue Moonlight, Wellesley Testosterone, FindMassMoney.com, Gem Plumbing, and by Golf.
On Boston's home for sports, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
And full count, runner will go with two away. And line drive caught to end the ball game. Riley with the grab. So all the good feeling and elation of Saturday's outstanding win goes up in smoke. Atlanta wins the series, and the Red Sox fall once again to 2 games below 500.
Oh, he had life with that Devers grand slam, but Brian Bayo, third start in a row, not able to get through 5, and really the wheels came off in that 5th. He walked 3, he gave up 4 more, and just not the outing you wanted from him, trying to build off that momentum from last night.
All right, so here we go. Here's really the question with the Red Sox, or from me to you regarding the Red Sox, and that is simple. What's wrong with the team? What is wrong with the team? And it's a long list, so I'll take all of your thoughts on it tonight. 617-779-0985, but let me start here. The number one concern for me is not necessarily something that's taken place between the lines. Okay, it is more intangible than that. So, the Red Sox, for example, you heard Lou Merlone talk about it right there. Saturday night, what happens? Raphael Devers hits a walk-off home run. First time in his career. He's never done that. He hits a walk-off home run. You'd think, okay, here it is. Opportunity to build on something. They show up. They win the next night. Now maybe you get rolling. Here you go. Years ago on Felger and Maz, my partner Mike asked me, point blank, don't you believe in momentum in baseball, in sports? And I said, yes, but not so much in baseball. I believe in momentum within the context or framework of one game, but I don't believe in momentum night to night. You know why? That takes good pitching. So if your starter goes out the next night after a dramatic game and pukes on himself in the first inning, momentum went right out the window. And momentum is really built over the course of a season. It's about confidence. It is something you build in being a good team, and you prove that you can win a number of different ways, that deficits are not insurmountable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what momentum is. It comes from confidence of winning. In 2018, the Red Sox had momentum because they won a lot. That's how you build momentum in baseball. And here's my point. Last night was just the latest example that the Red Sox had of trying to build on a victory from the night before and failing. So earlier in the year, if you remember, they played a 4-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays at Fenway Park. You know what happened? They lost the first 3. On the finale, or in the finale, which was a day game, Trevor Story was up, hit a little dribbler to the right side that the Blue Jays botched. Winning run scored. So what happened, or what did we say? We said after that game that this is why you have to put the ball in play. Make contact, hit a little dribbler, make the other team field the ball. Maybe they're the ones that F it up. Maybe you actually win the game just by failing to strike out. Just by making contact. Maybe you win the game. You know what happened after they won that 4-3 game? They went to the White Sox and lost 11-1 the next night. So then, more recently, the Red Sox had a bad weekend against the Minnesota Twins. Day off on Monday. Tuesday, they go to the ballpark. Texas Rangers are in town. Okay, here you go. Opportunity to get it going again. You know what happened? They lost 6-1. They got smoked by Texas. And they were a dead-ass team in doing so. Fine, so that series goes by. Now this one comes up. Red Sox lose the opener on Friday night in a pitcher's duel to Chris Sale, who beats Garrett Crochet. You lose 4-2. You're on your way to losing again on Saturday when the Braves score 2 runs. Was it 3 runs in the first inning? They scored 2 on Friday night in the second inning, 3 in the first inning on Saturday. But you know what happened? You came back. You actually win the game on a walk-off by Raphael Devers. Then you show up at the ballpark the next day. Here we go. This is the springboard. They lose 10-4. So 11-1, 6-1, 10-4. The days following big wins or off days or opportunities to reset, maybe pick up some momentum. The Red Sox have been outscored 27-6. And honestly, that's not the full list. There are others. I'm just giving you those off the top of my head. So now you tell me, what's the reason for that? And there's a couple of things here. One is that the starting pitching obviously stinks. Red Sox starters this year, even with Garrett Crochet, ranked 24th in the majors in ERA. 24th out of 30 teams. You take Crochet away, they drop to 28th. Third worst in the game. So as much as you want to beat the crap out of the bullpen, as much as you want to beat the crap out of the defense, or as much as you want to beat the crap out of the horrible base running, the Red Sox have been picked off more than 7 times this year, more than any team in the big leagues, by the way. 7 pickoffs. You add all that up together, none of them match the ineptitude of the starting rotation. And I said this at the beginning of the year, too, that when you look at the Red Sox and you say Garrett Crochet's here, somebody from the group of Walker Buehler, Tanner Houck, and Brian Bayo had to emerge. Someone had to become reliable. Someone had to be a legit number 2. Buehler got hurt. Houck has completely gone belly up. In fact, he's been so bad, you should have wished he'd been hurt before they put him on the injured list. And Bayo still can't get his head screwed on. Can't make it past the 4th inning. Racks up a high pitch count even when he does. And as a result, the Red Sox have some of the worst starting pitching in baseball. And again, just to amplify the importance of that, did you know that in the American League this year, the team leading after 5 innings has won 83% of the time? And this is not an old thing in baseball. We all love the comebacks. We all love the walk-offs, the dramatic victories, all that stuff. We all love it. We all say it is really the characteristic or a trait of a championship caliber team, of a good team, the ability to come back. And it is in many ways. It's also a bad thing if you have to come back too frequently. The really good teams get ahead early and stay there. They beat you from the beginning to the end. Again, the team that leads after 5 innings wins 83% of the time. 83%. That is a freaking huge number. Now, I get a lot of criticism on this show. Yeah, Maz, how come you're always defending Cora? Yeah, Maz, you love the manager. I don't understand why you love Cora so much. I think Cora's a good manager between the lines. However, and maybe you'll be surprised to hear this, I've also said to you that Alex Cora just signed a 3-year contract. Alex Cora is not going to get fired. Not when the Red Sox are going to pay him $22.5 million over a 3-year period. No shot. But I will say this. If it were an option, he'd be a candidate right now. And not for the reasons you think. I go back to my first point. The team is not responding. They have looked the same basically for 4 years. Hell, Jimmy Stewart sent me this stat the other day that if you go back to the last time they won the World Series in 2018, since that time, in 6 years, it's actually 7 now that I think of it, 6 plus. In that span of time, the Red Sox are 2 games over 500, starting in 2019, coming to now. And that includes a 2021 season in which they made the playoffs. Meaning the other 5 years have been kind of a disaster. So I see that, and I see the way the team fails to respond to opportunities to build something. and I see the stupid mistakes like the one they made on Friday night when Raphael missed a sign, and I start to say, maybe you have to fire the manager just to get the team to wake up. I don't blame Cora for it. I still don't blame Cora for it. But I would tell you again that these are the characteristics of the type of situation that gets a manager fired. You're the same team for 4 to 6 years. Draw the line wherever you want. You make stupid mistakes. And anytime you have a chance to win and build a winning streak, you don't. The real reason, I think, is the pitching. But you get the idea. When it goes on like this for this length of time, the manager often gets it. 617-779-0985. If you don't know what I'm talking about on Friday night, we'll play that when we come back on the Baseball Hour. We'll take your...
if he's going to do that.
Well, he was sitting all over breaking ball, and he got one in the middle of the plate, and this was absolutely crushed. Once the fastball got wide, you could see as a hitter he was going to sit on soft breaking ball, and he knew it.
So again, that's from Saturday night. I meant to mention this too, Raphael Devers, whom whom many people wanted to trade. Many of you wanted to trade out there after his unwillingness to play first base. And I get it. You're agitated with good reason. You want him to move to first. Is that really the biggest problem of the team in retrospect? And not that you shouldn't bitch about it. Bitch away. I don't like it either. I would love to see Devers volunteer, go play first base. Everything's solved as far as that's concerned. You put the best lineup you can on the field. Instead, Christian Campbell's over there, plan B or whatever, C, D, E, F, doesn't really make a difference. Whatever plan it is, Campbell now working out over there. Maybe he moves over to first eventually and Marcelo Meyer plays second. That's possibly an outcome. And you can bitch about Devers if you want. The idea of trading him was insane. So on the one hand, you want to win. On the other hand, you want to trade your best hitter because he's difficult. The Red Sox kept Manny Ramirez for 7.5 years. They're going to give up Devers now because he's become a pain in the ass for the last year plus, whatever it is. That's idiotic. I'm sorry. Since John Henry went to visit in Kansas City and had a sit down with Devers, Raphael Devers is 15 for 35. It's a 429 average. He's got 3 home runs and 13 RBI. And what's that? 10 games? Not even. So it might be like 9. His on-base percentage in that time is .512. Devers has 8 strikeouts and 6 walks. He's been as patient as he's ever been at the plate, really all year long. His slugging percentage since that time, again, since the meeting with Henry, his slugging percentage is .771. And his on-base percentage, his OPS, I already gave you his on-base percentage. Raphael Devers' OPS, since John Henry sat down with him, is .1284. Of the major league hitters, let's see where Devers ranks in OPS now overall. He's 15th in the majors in OPS, and that is after that bad start in which he went 0 for 19, I think it was, with 15 strikeouts. He's still in the top 15. Alex Bregman is 8th. Devers is 15th. They're about the only 2 guys that are really exempt from most of the blame, at least on the field. Now, you want to talk about Devers as a leader? Fine. You want to talk about Devers as a child? Fine. He hits. Just like Manny hit. Even he may or may not be as good. Probably not. Manny was a Hall of Fame talent, even if he's not in the Hall of Fame. But you get the idea. Devers hits. He won you the game on Saturday night. He tried to win you the game yesterday. But your pitching sucks so bad that you're not good enough to get on any kind of winning streak. Again, the Red Sox gave up 2 in the second inning on Friday night, cost him the game. 3 in the first inning on Saturday, almost cost him the game. Gave up 2 more in the first inning on Sunday, helped cost him the game. Devers hit a grand slam yesterday when they're down 3-0 to put him up 4-3, and Brian Bayo then fell apart. So this is the way it's going. And I'll tell you again, as much as we love the comebacks, the rallies, the walk-offs, 83% of all games, at least this year in the major leagues and most years, but this year the number is 83%, are decided in the first 5 innings. The team that led after the first 5 has won 83% of the time in 2025. 617-779-0985. Tell me how the Red Sox are going to fix that. Dave in Vermont. Dave, go ahead.
Hey, Tony. Good evening. Hey, we all know that the Red Sox have not been engaged. They haven't been engaged for 4 years. But my problem right now is the pitching. Other than Crochet, the starters have sucked. The bullpen has sucked. We know they're not going to fire Cora. How about maybe making a change at the pitching coach? I mean, maybe light some fire that way. I don't know. That was just something I was thinking of today. Thanks.
Dave, listen, you're preaching to the choir. Thank you for the call. I've said this for a while now. Why does Andrew Bailey always seem to get off scot-free? What is it with Andrew Bailey? The Red Sox, what's the stat Tyler Milliken sent me the other day? I got to find this again now. So you're going to have to give me a second because Tyler Milliken sent it to me in a text, and I wasn't the least bit surprised to have read it. It was over the weekend during the series with the Braves, so I'm not sure it's fully up to date. Here it is. Milliken sent it to me Saturday at 8:37 p.m. Just did this research, but the Red Sox have now given up 47 total home runs on the season. Okay? 47 total home runs on the season, which in and of itself doesn't seem like an outrageous number. 25 of those were on pitchers that were non-fastballs. So breaking balls and off-speed, changeups, splits, sliders, etc. 25 of them. That figure, sixth most in baseball. So Craig Breslow, Andrew Bailey is his sidekick. That's the guy that's running his pitching program. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to spin the crap out of it, and we're going to fool you because fastballs get hit harder, allegedly. Again, the Red Sox have given up the sixth most off-speed home runs in the game. I'll call it off-speed just to give you an umbrella term for anything that's not a fastball. Off-speed. Sixth most in the game. Could it be possible that the rest of the majors, the rest of the league, knows that the Red Sox are just going to spin the crap out of it and they don't even look for the fastball now when we're up there? And before you tell me that the Red Sox don't have guys with fastballs, stop. Because Tanner Houck can throw in the mid-90s. Walker Buehler can throw in the mid-90s. Crochet throws in the high 90s. Chapman throws 99 to 100. Justin Slayton throws hard. He's in the high 90s. They got plenty of guys with velocity. So why are they still throwing all this crap and spinning it up to the plate? Could it be possible that their pitching philosophy, which, by the way, I have been raving about or ranting about for, 2 years? I hate the way they pitch. I've always believed the fastball is the best way to pitch. Start and build off the fastball. I believe in attacking hitters with it, making them uncomfortable. Fast. It's an old formula. You don't always have to reinvent the effing game. Hard in, soft away. Simple concept. But if you don't throw hard in, they'll sit on the soft stuff and they'll beat the crap out of you, which is what they're doing now. Ray and Revere. Ray, what do you got?
Hey, to your point, does Breslow have acumen in pitching? Because he traded Chris Sale, he let Pivetta go, and for that matter, Eovaldi is also one of the best pitchers in the league. They literally don't know what they're doing when it comes to pitching. And Tony, they're 10th in the American League in ERA right now. If you look at the last year's playoff teams out of the American League, 5 of them were in their top 5 in ERA. They are not going to be a wild card team with this pitching staff. I think they ought to try to hit their way in. They've got Anthony and Meyer in the minor leagues. They've got a shortstop, Trevor Story, with a 600 OPS. I know John Henry's paying that dude, but to what end do you keep 2 better hitters down in the minors when you don't have the pitching to win it? Bring them up. Let's see these kids try to slug your way into the playoffs.
Yeah, so,
thank you.
Yep, Ray, you're not the first one to say this. And again, the issue with Meyer and with Roman Anthony, everybody's frustrated by that one. So again, if they can get Campbell to first, that opens up a spot for Meyer. They could get him up here. And Anthony is as simple as getting Raphael out of there if you wanted. He's been better of late, Raphael has, although he made a mistake over the weekend too. Another one. But that one, you could move Duran to center and bring Anthony up. Send Raphael back to the minor leagues. There's a million things you could do. If they wanted to bring Anthony here, they can do it. It's not as if they can't make a spot. They can. They just don't want to. Now, could that be because what? They want to make both players, Marcelo Meyer and Anthony, eligible for the Rookie of the Year next year so they can get another draft pick? They're more interested in, and again, I'll spare you the particulars of the rule. But if you bring up a prospect and he wins the Rookie of the Year, you get a draft pick for it. But Campbell's already a candidate for the Rookie of the Year, so why have two guys here that could win the Rookie of the Year? Is that what it is? Are the Red Sox trying to exploit the draft compensation system? Which in and of itself might be smart if you were a winning team, but you're not. You've been 500 for 5 years, 6 years. So you could bring him up if you wanted. There's no reason you can't bring Anthony up. He's been ripping it up all year. And I didn't check the results from the weekend, but going into the weekend, he was hitting over 300 still with an OPS in the 900s. So they could do it if they wanted. And meanwhile, the young guys, when are we going to stop calling them young? Because sooner or later at the big leagues, you've got to produce. And you've got to have the maturity and the, what's the right word I'm looking for? The instinct or the aptitude to play the game at the big league level. Which brings me to a couple of guys in particular over the weekend who at times just look checked out. in. This was during the Celtics game. This is what happened Friday night. Red Sox were down 2-1 in the 8th inning. David Hamilton led off, walked, cut on first base, threat to steal anytime he's on, elite base stealer. And with him, you'll run against anybody. Hamilton's that fast. He's that kind of guy. I mean, I hate to make this comparison, but when the Red Sox acquired Dave Roberts back in 2004, I want to say he was like 33 for 35 in stolen bases or something when they acquired him, or 30 for 33, had some sort of outrageous steal numbers when he was with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And now that I'm saying it, I want to look it up. But it was something like that. Let me give it to you here. He was
33 of 34.
Okay, 33 of 34. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it. 33 of 34. Caught once with the Dodgers that year. That was the whole reason the Red Sox caught him. Hamilton, similar kind of thing. So he takes off. Raphael bunts, fouls it off. Just completely derails the stolen base. Now, Hamilton ended up stealing it anyway. But I'll get to something on that too. He tried to bunt. He fouled it off. Cora came out of the dugout and yelled at him and says, "Hey, screw your head on." And he gave the signal again. What Cora wanted was for Raphael to square in front of the catcher as the pitcher was delivering and then pull it back, just to create some sort of distraction or obstacle for the catcher while the pitcher is being delivered. That's it. He can't remain in front of the catcher when the throw comes, but he can be there beforehand. So they ended up stealing the base. So now you have a man on second in a one-run game, 2-1 in the 8th. Remember, the only runs that were scored in the game by the Braves to that point were back-to-back solo home runs against Garrett Crochet in the second inning. So it was going to be a tight game. So now you have a man on second, nobody out. Raphael grounds out to shortstop. The runner can't advance. Strikeout, pop-up, inning over. So the Red Sox, again, failed to advance a runner, something they've been dreadful at all year long. And then in the top of the 9th now with the game 2-1, Brennan Bernardino walks 5 guys. I think it was 5 walks in the inning, right? Something like that. 5 walks. 2 runs score. They're up 4-1. You score in the bottom of the 9th to make it 4-2. That's the final. So you failed to advance a runner, and you didn't score in the 8th. In the 9th, you gave them 2 more, and then you scored in the bottom half. So that's number 1. Then yesterday, the Red Sox fall behind 3-0 early. Raphael Devers, who many of you wanted to trade. That's a good one. Let's trade one of the best hitters in the lineup, if not the only guy who's doing anything right now. Let's trade Devers. Great idea. Devers hits a grand slam to put the Red Sox up 4-3. Then Bayo goes back out to the mound, and this happens.
Holes, a little ground ball, and a fair one down the line, and it keeps on rolling. Grant will collect that against the sidewall, and Allen into second. Verdugo guiding a little chopper inside the bag. And he's 2 for 3.
This is the inning that you wanted over quick, right here.
Line shot. That one hit for the warning track. That'll skip up against the scoreboard. 1 run is in. Verdugo on to third. And it's a long RBI single for Riley to tie the game 4-4. Harris, he's taking, and that is ball 4. That'll force in a run. He's walked another man. His 3rd in the inning. 5-4 Atlanta. Here's White, who has struck out and grounded out. Nobody out. Braves have him all loaded up. And he will look at a strike. And sarcastic applause from Fenway. And a line drive and a base hit into right center. Baldwin in to score. Albies down to third. Another run home as the throw comes to the plate. 6-4. And a fly ball right field driving back. Wilyer Abreu is still backing up. He'll make the play. Tagging up. Here's Albies coming home. And Harris moves on down to third. That's the first out of the inning. 7-4 Atlanta. And here comes Cora again. This is the 3rd consecutive start for Bayo. He's had to come out and get him before he could escape the 5th.
Well, Yeah, this fifth inning, he's going to look back at it. I mean, you had that grand slam. It's a 4-4 ball game. You haven't got through 5 in 2 straight starts, and you came out and walked 3 the first 4 hitters you faced. Get back to that drawing board. Got to find that changeup. Right? Got to have all your weapons when you come out tonight. Of course, pound the zone.
So again, you tell me, like, what's wrong with Brian Bale, and why is it that everybody on this team doesn't know how to win? None of them know how to win. None of them know how to do the most basic things to win. It's alarming when you really look at it. And look at all the things that have gone on with the Red Sox in these games this year. Advancing runners from second to third or third to home with less than 2 outs. They suck at it. In fact, all the little things that are typically required to win games, the Red Sox kind of suck at them all. I'm laughing because it'd be fun. It'd be sad if it weren't true. It's comical. Don't walk people in close games. Bale walked 3. Bernardino walked 5 on Friday night. Run the bases well. Don't get picked off. 7 pickoffs this year, most in the majors. When you score and tie the game, put up a 0, get your team back in the dugout right away. Not the Red Sox. They give up runs right away after they score. We're going to let you right back in it. Dramatic game the night before, come out and win the next day. Nope. Can't do it. Don't want to do that either. You name all good defense? Make contact, put the ball in play? Nope. All the basic things you would need to do to win games. All the basic things. They kind of suck at all of them. And we wonder why they're 23 and 25, still under 500, despite Alex Bregman, who has an OPS over 900, Crochet, who has an ERA of 2, Bueller's on the injured list. Chapman overall has been pretty good. So the new guys who've been brought in have contributed, and yet the team is no better. How do you explain that? I'm going to take thoughts and nominations on this all week. How do you explain the losing with the increased talent? Because it used to be the money that they weren't spending enough money on players. Now they've brought in players and they're still losing. So at what point do we start looking at the uniform personnel and, frankly, their inability to just play the game? Now, I'm happy to go after the pitching coach, too. I hate the way they pitch. I don't think anybody's exempt. Now the Mets are in town, one of the best teams in baseball. Let's see how this goes. How do you think Juan Soto feels right now? You think he feels like he made the right choice? Glenn in the car. Glenn, go ahead.
Hey, Tony, talking about possibly blowing out the...
Glenn, I'm going to put you on hold for 1 second. I don't know if you have the window open or something. Maybe you can do that because it's just really hard to hear you. So I'm going to give you a second while I bring in Chris from Washington. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Tony. To me, one of the things that I've found with this team over the last 20 years, is it me or does it feel like they've gone from maybe being the smartest guys in the room to being the guys who think they're the smartest guys in the room, and which is very dangerous. And I think the pitching is such an example of that. This idea that, hey, let's just, guys historically hit worse against breaking stuff, so let's just throw all breaking stuff. Well, there's a reason they hit worse against breaking stuff. It's because historically, if you're throwing mostly fastballs, breaking stuff's going to be a surprise.
Right. You have to set up the breaking stuff is the point, Chris. And so I'll tell you what, here's the other thing I really do start to wonder when I look at them and I say, why have they been this way for the last 5 or 6 years? I know the farm system wasn't great for a long period of time, so then they decided that they're going to keep everybody. Is it possible they effed up and misevaluated some of these players? Brian Bale, is it possible he's just not that good? And they doesn't have the maturity to be a big league pitcher? Or the mindset? Or the poise? Or the emotional maturity? Like whatever it is. And if so, why didn't they trade him earlier? Ceddanne Raphael, can he hit? Does he pay attention? Because he makes a lot of dumb mistakes. Jarren Duran Let's see how the year goes. It's been a little bit better of late, but I thought they should have traded Durant last offseason after he had the kind of year he had. Tristan Casas, I thought, was a candidate at some point for them to deal. Bobby Dahlbeck's another one. After that, what year was that? 2022, 2023, one of those years. He had a big second half. 2021, I think it was, now that I think of it, because I think it was the playoff year. So Bobby Dahlbeck. I remember saying then, trade him during the offseason. They didn't. So they kept all those guys, and they got nothing for them. It's another part of the problem. Tell you what, I have a few of you on the line. Sit tight. We'll wrap it up with your calls when we come back. Don't go anywhere on the Baseball Hour. So, Glenn, look, your roster is largely what it is, but that doesn't mean you can't get more out of what you have. The fact is, they should be better than they are based on the talent on the roster. So now, what would I do with the pitching? I would pitch stylistically. I would pitch differently. I would throw more fastballs. I would try to move some people off the plate. I'm not talking about headhunting, but I don't feel like the Red Sox go inside all that often. I mean, you've got to fight for the plate. That's the job. Fight for the plate. And the lineup, it's going to mean more bunting, more advancing runners. In those situations, you have to manufacture a run. So after Hamilton had stolen the other night, maybe you bunt him to third instead of letting Raphael ground out to short. Maybe you can get that run home. Steve in Connecticut. Go ahead, Steve.
So how much do you think the offensive struggles are based off of that approach that they're using with that drive line, trying to do everything with launch angle?
So it's got to be part of it. But again, I would say right now, and I'm not dismissing the offensive issues. The offensive issues to me come mostly in the areas that I would call situational. So again, Bregman, Devers, Abreu, those guys are all producing. But you ask them to move a runner over and they can't do it or they strike out. So I would say if you have to start, having guys choke up or bunt guys over or whatever it is, if you have to do it in those situations, then do it. Whatever it takes, it comes to that, down to that simple thing. Whatever it takes to win a game. Quickly, Stanley in Taunton. Go ahead, Stanley.
Hey, Maserati, it's been a while since I last spoke to you. I wanted to hash out three things real quick.
So, Stanley, I can only take one. So I'm up against it. But
okay. Overall, I think as much as I love Alex Cora, I feel like he's kind of checked out. And I don't think this season, I think we're going to be a 500 team this year again. And for something to change, we probably might have to go forward to moving into a new manager, just like we do with John Farrell. Francona to John Farrell to Cora. I think every single time we change a manager, somehow, some way, we just win a World Series. I think a new change of pace is needed.
Yeah. So Stanley, I'll tell you what, I'm coming around to that way of thinking, and let me say this again. I don't think anything's going to happen to Alex Cora. He just signed a 3-year contract for $22.5 million. I don't think he's going anywhere. But this team has the feel of a team that needs a managerial change. Okay, is that a nice way for me to am I soft stepping it enough? I think Cora's a good game manager. Someone will hire him instantly. And I say instantly, at the end of the year, whenever. Cora will get another job. But the team isn't responding. They're just not. And it's been that way for 5 years now, or anyway, 4. So do I think the Red Sox will do it? No. They just gave him a new contract. They're not going to eat all that money now. No way, not in a million years. But in the same breath, I just don't see the team getting any better. I really don't. I see I see the veteran guys who can hit are hitting, primarily Bregman and Devers, but that's it. Anyway, Kevin Majori's got your headlines here. Joe Murray got everybody for Joe's in the other room. He'll be here for the balance of the night. We'll catch you tomorrow on the Baseball Hour.
From the Telfair Tire Studios, WBZ FM and HD1.
It's not just the game.